those Tempests.
Well, we're going to find out what these two players have up their sleeves, as we are going to be spawning up here in the top left-hand corner of the map on top of the red Protoss player. Give it up for On Fire's Neeb.
And spawning in the bottom left of Alrena, it is the blue Terran player from Elevate Gaming. It is MaSa. Already going for a weird supply depot placement. I actually kind of like this. Gonna force a really late scout out of Neeb if he does decide to probe scout. Yeah, that supply depot is gonna allow you to raise it.
Oh, but this probe from Neeb is looking a little bit cheeky, as it is going the long way around, because I think Neeb, oh, actually, you know what? Neeb might have already realized what was going on with that supply depot placement, and ended up having to rally it all the way around to make sure he didn't get caught there.
Yeah, because if he sent it at first and realized the supply depot was up, and then tried to go up there again, MaSa could just raise the depot when he gets there.
Yep.
And then it just keeps raising it and lowering it until Neeb does eventually send it down by on his own.
It is really, really cute, although I kind of wonder how worth it is. It delays the scout, but I mean, the scout still gets to your base, and there's not really a whole lot that he's going to have out. It's not like he was getting out the Marine during that time that the probe was making its way across the map. It's not like he was going to be able to hide, you know, what the gas timing or anything was. In fact, the probe gets there. Here, sure, it took a little bit longer, but at the end of the day, that supply depot is going to go down.
Most likely, yes, unless MaSa does something very, very aggressive. The one thing I will say, though, is as a result of that later scout, it means a little bit more mining time lost for Neeb.
That's true.
Always nice. And look, he's even having to send it around back home the long way. Doesn't delay that Nexus a whole lot, but it does a little bit. We are seeing a Stalker come out from Neeb, though. We have not seen this yet, I don't think, in a single PvP. PvT.
Stalkers can come out. I think Huck is one of the players that also likes to get a lot of those Stalkers out sometimes in the early game, just because they do a better job of dealing with Marines, just because you can, if you encounter Marines out in the middle of the map, which is something MaSa is definitely not afraid to do, you can kite them, you can do a lot more damage to them than Adepts, which generally just, they like to fight Marines in a head-on engagement when they're in even numbers, or they like to run straight past the Marines and go for the SCVs. Stalkers are a little bit more elegant in the sense that they like to pick away at the army, harass the army. We're going to be seeing a little bit of that from Neeb as long as he controls this well.
Yeah, you can actually kite Marines indefinitely.
Oh, this is so cute from MaSa. He cuts off the Stalker, and suddenly the Stalker goes down. The supply depot on both sides. I take it back. I take back everything I said about the supply depots. It was a beautiful play.
That was so sick. An absolute bait from MaSa. Possibly expecting Neeb to go for what he went for, and that was just so brilliant from MaSa. Played him like a fiddle.
You know, that SCV deserved the kill on that. I mean, the
really
Marines may have gotten it, but the SCV is the one that deserved it. It does get picked off by this Adept. The Adept also almost walking the wrong way around. We see a little bit of repair coming down that supply depot, and this is actually paying off quite well, because now you end up seeing this Adept going to have a hard time moving into the natural expansion to do the normal damage, and that gives MaSa the opportunity to not go for that barrack style we've been seeing out of him lately. He's going straight up to the Starport, but we do have the Oracle moving on in. Marines got to be in position to deal with this, and they really aren't quite in position.
Yeah, nice moves with those SCVs, though. Does keep 3 more of them alive, as the Oracle could have gotten in there. That one extra SCV going down. Pretty nice damage from Neeb to start off, and that supply depot is still going to go down.
Yeah, Widowmine finally does end up popping out, and we end up seeing, oh, yep, there it is, the Stargate follow-up for Neeb. It's the Fleet Beacon.
Yep, and even adding on that second Stargate, and Phoenix, in fact, to, nope, gonna cancel that. I think that's probably a good decision. Getting that +1 air weapons, though. I feel you usually don't get that with the Tempest play, but maybe not.
It can be useful in certain situations. We'll get into that in a second, because we do have the drop coming in, as the Marines are going to be able to step in a nice position. The Widowmine is so close to dying, but it does barely survive. And to remember, with that Oracle, he can eventually get the Revelation down, but he does not have it until just now, and does immediately go for the snipe off on it.
Very nice target fire from Neeb, but actually might be losing this fight against the Marines. The medevac keeping those Marines alive.
Yeah, in fact, if the Mothership Core comes down to the low ground, medevac or Marines may just go after it. No, going after those probes. saying let's get as much damage done as possible. Now, the kind of unfortunate thing I would say for MaSa is that he doesn't really get a full scout off on the fact that there was the double Stargate production, that there are the Tempests going to be coming out. He may have some sort of suspicion just because Arena, it is so common on this map, but he's going for a third expansion. He's getting out some Vikings, so I think he does know, but is this going to be enough? That's one of the big questions, because Vikings actually do still struggle at taking out those Tempests.
Yeah, he's definitely got an idea of what's going on.
Yeah, we end up seeing the Tempest making its way across the map alongside that Oracle. The Oracle going to be there for Revelations. We're already seeing some of those Tempest shots going off somewhere. And, yeah, MaSa got to be ready for this.
Oh, wow, actually moving
a
medevac
two
across.
Marines. Actually, this is going to catch him off guard. One of the important things about the Tempest is that you start to spiral out of control, but MaSa is more than ready for it, it seems. He might even come back. Yeah, he's sending an SCV over. I think he might repair that Viking. Oh, I'd love if he repaired that Viking, but he doesn't.
Not yet, but that would be a great decision as the starport time is very, very valuable. Already picking off one of those Tempests, pretty nice.
Yeah.
Oh, is he going to drop a Widow Mine on the approach? Try and do some damage to that Tempest? Looks like that might be what he's doing.
Oh, well, it's going to be very dangerous if he tries to move into that mineral line because the Tempests are there and it's very easy for them to react, but yeah.
Is just going to stay on that gold location. I love that.
Yeah, I really do like that as well because, you know, even using up the Oracle energy, moving in, he does go in and does get Photon Overcharge down. Unfortunate. But that's the thing, right, is if you can even force out any revelations from that Oracle, you waste the energy, and now the Oracle can't revelate for the actual army and to have those Tempests pick off army units.
Yeah, that was actually pretty nice for Neeb. A bit of an overcommitment. I don't really see why he sent that Widow Mine in there, but might be thinking, oh, you know what, maybe the Tempests were out of the way. Well, I can get some damage done, but that just wasn't the case.
Yeah, Liberator is sieging up and does manage to get a couple, you know, a kill here and there, but nothing massive. I think actually only maybe got a 1 kill or 0 kills, in fact.
Yeah, the Viking count for MaSa is, I believe, is that at 6?
It's been at a steady 6. He's transitioned into Liberator production, which does come out a bit slower, but we do see that return to Viking production. He's actually getting his second starport, and it's putting it onto the reactor. And this is kind of that weird stage where now there are a decent number of these Tempests, there are some of those Adepts, and we have to see some really good control out of MaSa for this.
Yeah, we do see those Adepts target firing down the Tempests, forcing a recall out, actually.
Forcing a pulling of the SCVs, because I think that MaSa knows his command center was pretty early, his third command center, and he is actually sitting at, I would say, a worker lead that's pretty substantial just because, yes, of course, 55 to 53, it's not a huge lead, but it's the fact that he has those 3 orbital commands from Mules. And I would just say Tempests are great, but I kind of like the tech for MaSa a lot better.
Yeah, so do I. Oh, that Observer actually going down to the missile turret. That is kind of painful for Neeb. And yeah, despite the fact that we were talking about those Tempests being so good on this map, Neeb has not been able to really siege the main base.
Yeah. But we have the Oracle trying to move on in again. Going to get not only a scout out on the double reactor. Oh my god, 2 starports able to produce potentially 4 medevacs at a time or 4 Vikings at a time. That's actually a pretty scary thought for any Pros player on a very air-based army, but we do end up seeing, of course, the halting of production from those Stargates. We're not seeing anything else being produced out of Neeb.
I think that's definitely the right call from Neeb, as MaSa does, as you say, have that double starport reactor. He can produce 4 Vikings at a time if he so chooses. The problem is, because he's gone for these Tempests, he is very vulnerable, I feel, to this timing that MaSa is trying to hit.
I think that's exactly it. The timing right before Templar Archives finishes up, before even Adepts start to come out in massive numbers, because those Warp Gates are only still now just finishing up. And I think that MaSa wants to go in, but he needs to take out the Destructible Rocks. He doesn't want to go through that choke point. And actually, Neeb is doing a great job of making this very difficult for MaSa to do.
Yeah, even Revelation being casted on those rocks, so he's going to know exactly what the HP is. Of course, it's on the mostly on the Terran army.
Yeah.
The one problem for MaSa is the medevac count is very low because he's been producing those Vikings so much.
Yeah, but here we go. Templar Archons is finished up. High Templars are being warped in, but no Psystorm is being researched just yet. It's still going to be a good bit, and I think that Neeb still is going to be vulnerable for a little bit longer, but he's going to reposition his army, going to try and get to a nice little area, gets a great Revelation off that's going to allow him to pick away at this army for so much longer.
Absolutely. To be honest, I feel that I would prefer if Neeb maybe target fire down the Medivacs first if he can get a few free shots. And Psionic Storm is being researched now. If MaSa could realize this, he would want to push in right now, but he's not quite sure.
He's pulling the boys. I actually love this decision.
Wow.
It's something we haven't seen for such a long time. But you think about it, Tempests do not do damage very quickly. And with no Psionic Storm, he's not even going to have Archons morphed in because he's trying to save the energy. He may try to morph him in now, but it's going to be a little bit too late.
Yeah, those SCVs coming in going to be tanking some nice force fields for Neeb, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Archon trying to come on in. It may be able to do some really good damage. As you were saying, the medevac count is absolutely nothing right now. Archon gets taken out, and any stim that these Marines do is going to be absolutely devastating. But the last Tempest is going to be falling to the Vikings.
It is. We do see that triple pylon overcharge at the natural of Neeb wearing out, though. But look at how stimmed these units are. It looks like Neeb's starting to hold.
Neeb holds on against the boys. The boys mean nothing to him. A single Widow Mine may get a little bit of damage done. It kills off in a death, but Neeb does not really care right now. He knows he's done so much damage to the economy now of MaSa, having pulled all those SCVs, and now he can just charge across the map. He's going to try and end this game right now. GG!
GG comes out from MaSa. Neeb's got a few feeling so good after holding that attack.
He was holding his head after the last game steadfast. He was thinking, what am I supposed to do against this guy? He just beat me in a macro game, but this game, he counters MaSa's kind of cheeky play. Even after MaSa did such a good job of holding off that Tempest aggression, he takes it in the late game stage of Arena.
Yeah, ending up holding that SCV pull. Is this Heart of the Swarm? No, Colossus don't exist anymore, no. But Tempests do. However, the lack of medevacs really didn't give that army any survivability.
You know, that definitely caused a lot of problems. The other thing I would say is just that choke point, those force fields. I want to come back to the sentries. The sentries are such an invaluable unit, and getting those force fields off actually took more than half of the Marines out of the fight for such a long time. And actually, you think about it, those SCVs, their job is to tank shots. But those SCVs weren't all in the front. In fact, I would say some of them were, a decent chunk of them were actually sitting, I think, behind those Marines. So when those force fields come down, it cuts down even less, or cuts down the surface area even more. And suddenly, that engagement becomes a lot more favorable for Neeb, I think. So really, really great play out of Neeb on the defense, and identifying in a moment's notice a very, very unlikely thing to be facing off against, the SCV pull that he hasn't seen in probably a good bit of time, and having an immediate, appropriate reaction for it.
Absolutely. Really nice hold there for Neeb. Going to be evening the series at 2-2, and we are going to be heading into Game 5. Effectively, it is now a best of 3.
You know, you might say that, but of course that would not do justice to the fact that there have been so many games, so many builds, so many different types of things happening in these games, and that will all weigh on both of the players' minds, because they know, I mean, of course, definitely Neeb knows all the shenanigans that MaSa can pull out. The map is going to be Central Protocol. Talk about a map for shenanigans.
Absolutely, yeah.
It is going to be a very, very scary thing for both of these players, because you know what? The player who has not shown a lot of those shenanigans, besides, of course, I wouldn't even call shenanigans on the Tempest build on Arena. That's actually become standard. It's actually shenanigans if you don't go for it on Arena. Then you're really trying to mind game your opponent who's like trying to hard counter you or something. But Neeb has really not shown a lot of those crazy all-in-ish plays. And you know what? Maybe this is